I'm so glad that we get to do this together. Well, not together, but at least we have technology to help us. I really do miss you guys, but we're going to make the best of this. So, I have to ask a question. Did you bring your imagination today? Did you? Yeah, well, I figured most of you might have forgotten since this is the first day, so don't worry. But I was talking with Ramses. I think you might have met him earlier. He is the bighorn sheep. Well, he was telling me that he and his friends, they live in the Rocky Mountains. And living there is awesome because in the mountains they get to see all the beautiful scenery and they get to see all the spectacular views. And but you got to imagine that living on the mountain's a little tough. I mean, sometimes it could be quite difficult. I mean, all the steep cliffs and the rockiness, and especially in the wintertime when it snows. Could you imagine? And it gets wet and slippery. But that's why Ramses he's got a sure-footed foot. I know, that's a mouthful. But he has special feet that God prepared him with that make it handy during the difficult times, like the snow. And that's when Ramses' feet come in the most handy because things get slippery in the snowy mountains. So, let's see what it's like for Ramses in the snow. Just a little imagination to get y'all started. But even when it does snow, Ramses knows that Jesus' power helps us in the hard times. Trust Jesus! Alright, so that's a little better, right? We've got some of our imagination going. Well, before we get started, every day we're going to have a fun sciencey gizmo to do. But before we do those, we're going to have a talk start question. And each day we'll have a question, and you'll be given 2 answer choices, and you'll get to decide. And then I'll give you the answer. So today's question, are you ready for it? Today's question is about the bighorn, just like Ramses. Okay? How long does it take a baby bighorn to be able to climb as well as his mother? Does it take 6 weeks? Or does it take just 1 day? I'm going to give you a second to think about it. 6 weeks or 1 day? What do you think? All right, you ready for the answer? All right, here's a drum roll. Give me a drum roll, guys. Give me a good drum roll. 1 day. It only takes 1 day for a baby bighorn to climb those Rocky Mountains just as well as his mother. And to think, it takes us humans almost a year. So that's pretty awesome. And that's just another example of how God helps us and puts us in our own situations that we're able to adapt to. All right, so before we get started today, you're going to need your day 1 project, which is going to be, it's going to have a little thing like this in it. You'll need a blank sheet of paper, a pen or pencil or a marker, and a paper clip. Okay, so make sure you have those things. And if you don't, you can pause the video right now and go get those things, all right? Because we're going to want to make sure we have everything we need to do our project for today. All right. Well, we've already answered our question for the day. And we're going to move on. What we are going to need is the paper and the marker to get started with. So before we start our first fun sciencey gizmo, it's called the off the rails roller. We'll need to make a track for our roller. Okay? So it doesn't have to be perfect drawing, but let's draw some rails. And then here's some ties. And then since we're in the Rocky Mountains, maybe we can draw some peaks over here. And like I said, I'm not an artist, guys, but you do your best. Maybe you might have some stickers around the house that could help out. We could draw some trees, some like pine trees. I'm not a drawer, guys. just whatever. And then later you can make this, you can take your time and draw it out a little better. But we just wanted a little track. And when we're done with this, we'll have something to roll it on. So, we are going to go ahead and make our off the rails roller. So today what we're doing is we're discovering that Jesus' power can help us during the hard times. Trust Jesus! Alright, so you know that sometimes we all have hard times and we may not understand why. And we may not be able to control what's happening. And our lives seem to be going in different directions, especially than what we thought we needed. But we need to know that God's in control. So, what I want y'all to do is I want you to get your kit out, and I want you to notice that you have this thing. You might have it together like this. Pull it apart. And you'll notice that one has a flat side here, and one has a raised side here. You're going to want the one that has the raised side, okay? And then you're going to take one of your rubber bands here, and you want to thread it. Find the outside piece of your paper clip, and just thread that through right there. Just one time. You don't have to go all the way around, just the one time. You want to take your paper clip. Oh, you want to make sure you got one that'll go through the hole. We didn't find one that goes through the hole. So, thread with your paper clip through here. I think I can get it with my feet. Okay, not all the way through, so make sure you have it like that. Alright, now you're going to take, I'm going to put my finger there so it doesn't, your large straw, okay, and then you're going to pull it tight like that. Alright? Okay, now once you have that, you have the long straw, you have the spool that has the part sticking out, and the rubber band holding it in place. Now you take that paper clip, if you should be still on there, I didn't get to use mine. And you're going to take it through this side over here. And then that'll go together. You have this side out, and you'll put the small straw there. And then take paper clip off. So it should look like this. Okay? Alright, so you should look like this. What you're going to do is place your hand right here so that you can hold down this straw. And you're going to twirl this straw just like this, around and around and around. The more you do it, the more your off the rails roller is going to go. So, ready? Watch. Let it go. And it would keep going, but I've got the camera in the way. There you are. Now, y'all get to enjoy those for a little bit. But remember, when you're playing with them, that Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Trust Jesus!